Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So here's a Q&A video focused a lot on The Ones Who Live and Fear the Walking Dead. There are some questions here about Daryl Dixon and I'll answer some of those, but a big focus here is on The Ones Who Live and then kind of Fear the Walking Dead here. So yeah, I want to get into all this here. If you want to join these Q&As, definitely go join the Discord. The server name is Appetite for the Dead. The link is in the description of this video. I do Q&As every single week. I'll do another one on Wednesday, and yeah, I'll answer your guys' questions and stuff. Most likely regarding Fear the Walking Dead and The Ones Who Live, because that's probably going to be our focus now, is just on those two shows, which obviously I know people are going to be excited about because, I mean, people are excited about Fear the Walking Dead and anything with Alicia and Madison, and The Ones Who Live. I mean, people have been wanting me to do more videos on it, so, I mean, we're getting into that territory now. There's going to be a lot more content focused on that, so yeah, I'm very excited here. So let's get into the first question here. So Q&A. What do you think happened to Tobias from Fear the Walking Dead Season 1? Well, I mean, I don't think we're going to see him ever again, so I'm just going to say that I think he is living happily ever after, just because I love that character. Like, when I first watched Fear the Walking Dead back in the day, like however long ago that was like the first thing that I really just like absolutely fell in love with was that character. I was like, this character is just amazing. He's so cool. And then just like, yeah, it's kind of sad that he never made a return, but Q&A. Do you think we'll see a backstory for Jadis about how she figured out about the CRM? I do wonder, you know, if there's going to be an episode devoted to Jadis and say it's her death episode or something, there could be a quick like 10-minute scene or something focused on some sort of backstory with the character. You know, if you think about Isabel, she sort of got that as well. The only issue when it comes to stuff like that, and again, this is why I think the Rick and Michonne show has to be more than the 6 episodes, is because there is so much story there to be told that it's like, you know, if you just look at how short Daryl Dixon was and how short Dead City was, it's just like you want more. There needs to be a little bit more. If that's all we're getting for Rick and Michonne, yes, it's going to be exciting and cool. And that last episode is going to be insane because it's going to be like Rick and Michonne's final episode ever. I don't know. Again, that's why I think we need more than that, because it's not enough for the story. I want to see these characters fleshed out more. And I think 3 seasons, you know, like 18 episodes in total of Rick and Michonne, I think would be absolutely perfect. And I think would live up to the hype of what the CRM arc is supposed to be. And just all of that, because we have Major General Beale, you know, Terry O'Quinn's playing him. That's an epic character already. Just the casting and everything, you can already picture what it's going to be like. And so I want to see more than 6 episodes worth of that character. I want to see a lot more than that. So maybe it'll be a thing where you end Rick and Michonne's story, but Jadis and Major General Beale can go to the other shows. Maybe Dead City eventually focuses more on the Civic Republic and stuff, right? That's why I think there needs to be more than 6 episodes. It's not just because I want more Rick and Michonne. It's just simply, I don't think you can tell a satisfying, like, epic story. Like, you can probably tell a satisfying story, right? But not an epic story. At least in my opinion, I think it needs to be more than 6 episodes, because the Civic Republic arc's not going to be completely wrapped up in those 6 episodes. If it is, it's very, very underwhelming. Q&A, do you think Jadis will help Rick and Michonne escape, or will she try to stop them? I think she's going to try and... Ooh, it's kind of hard to say, because obviously she can really go with either one. If I had to choose, it's going to be to help, or I guess to try stop them, because I think that if Rick and Michonne escape, and I say Michonne because I'm assuming Michonne's going to be trapped at the CRM with Rick at some point, I think if they both escape, then that's really bad for Jadis. So I'm going to assume that it's going to be to try and stop them. I think that's likely what's going to happen here. Q&A, what would be 2 characters from Fear you'd like to see in The Ones Who Live? And your theory as to how Daryl/Carol will get back to America. Well, on the first part there, I guess, 2 characters I'd like to see on The Ones Who Live. Obviously Madison and I guess Alicia. No. Madison and Morgan. I don't always include Morgan in that because in my head he's a Walking Dead character, but he's technically right now a Fear the Walking Dead character. So I think that, yeah, I would take Madison and Morgan easily. But specifically with Madison, I just think there could be a lot of exciting story there to tell, and I would really love to see that. Like, if Madison can join The Ones Who Live, imagine what you can actually do for the story, because she would be wanting to join that group, obviously, I guess, to find Alicia if, say, there's no reunion or anything like that, right, in the final episode. So, you know, for her to join that show, I think it would be really amazing. Fans have been wanting Rick and Madison to meet for a very long time, like a very, very long time. And so I think it would just be super awesome to actually have that, to see that play out. And I would love to see that, but I just don't know if we're going to see that, because it's just, I don't know. Again, like if there's a season 2, then I think it's possible. But if it's only a 1-season thing, then I don't think we're ever going to see Rick meet any of the Fear characters, and that's just, again, it is just disappointing. Like, I want to see more of these reunions. And I will say, in terms of the Rick and Michonne show only being just 1 season, I know people are focused on the fact that it's just 6 episodes, and the way they sort of word it is what it is. But the renewal of a season 2 will have to be done if Andrew Lincoln and Danai Gurira, want to do a season 2, and if AMC wants to do a season 2, right? And so I think the reason why they haven't come out and said it's only 6 episodes, like, you got to remember, no one has come out and said, it's only 6 episodes, their story is done, that is it, there's nothing else afterwards, we're not doing a season 2. The only thing they've said is that there are 6 episodes of this show. Like, there's going to be 6 episodes. It's a limited series, but there hasn't been a denial of, like, are you doing a season 2? And they're like, no, right? Like, people have reached out to them about doing a season 2, and the response has just kind of been like, it's just sort of up in the air right now. And I remember that specifically because there was a lot of articles written in the summer around Comic-Con, and what was said specifically is it's sort of like they don't really know. It's kind of like, this is it. This is the 6 episodes here, but I guess that they could do a season 2 if they want to. And I really think, in my head, I think what is happening here is Andrew Lincoln and Danai Gurira want to see how this show does first. I really feel like they're probably open to doing another season, but they just want to see how fans are going to respond to this. And if the story is really, really good, if it's portrayed accurately on screen and all of that, and they really like it, they might come back and do a season 2 kind of thing, right? So I think they're just going to wait and see, have the show air, and then I think AMC is probably going to see, crazy numbers and be like, all right, do you guys want to do a season 2? Because also you got to remember too, like, there's negotiating and stuff like that, right? Like, that's the stuff that happens behind the scenes that no one ever really talks about. Is Rick and Michonne, or not Rick and Michonne, but Andrew and Danai, could really be like good negotiators, and they're not talking about anything in terms of doing a season 2 because they want to get paid if they're doing a season 2, right? So that could be such a big part of it here, right? Like, we don't know the contract situation. We don't know any of that. And that is something people also don't focus on. So I think that, circling back around to the question, for there to be a season 2, I think it would be absolutely amazing, because then you can have characters like Madison, Morgan, and just, there's a lot of characters, you can have them actually on that show. And I think it would be incredible. Like, I would love to see Madison on the Rick and Michonne show. I really would. Madison is such a great character. She just came back as well, right at the end of season 7, and then she's really just here for season 8, which is kind of an all right season. Honestly, season 8's all right. The first 6 episodes I wasn't a fan of, and these last 6 I might not be. Well, the thing is, I'll probably like the next 6 more than the first 6, just because it's focused on Troy and more of like the Fear the Walking Dead story, and they're wrapping everything up, right? So I think I might actually like that. I think what I don't like about the first 6 episodes is Padre, and yes, Padre is playing a role still, but it's a little different. Like, Madison is just trying to keep this place going, right? So it's not like the whole mystery of Padre. I think they absolutely filled that. Q&A, what are the chances that instead of Major General Beale cutting off Rick's hand, it's actually Rick that cuts off his own hand? I think it's possible if his hand gets bit or something like that, that he's forced to do that kind of thing. Like, maybe he's just so tired because he's killing walkers so much that, just at some point he's so tired that all of a sudden he gets bit in the hand and he kind of freaks out, and so he has to cut his arm off kind of thing, or arm, but his hand off, right? I could see that being a possibility. What's funny about the whole Rick losing his hand thing is that people really don't want it. I did that video, and I will say, now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if his hand is off. It really looks like it. Like, it really looks like it. His hand it doesn't look normal in that scene. But if you're actually looking at it, I know some people in the Discord were sort of, explaining why his hand could look like that. It actually does look like it does make sense. It's just such a weird, like, again, it could be the quality of everything, but like, yeah, there is actually a rope, and I think that is what is making his hand sort of like look a little weird. Like, it just doesn't look that natural. I think that's probably mostly what it is. But regardless of that, people really don't want him to lose his hand because they think that, he's not going to be able to like fight and do all these cool things afterwards. I don't know. I think that's honestly really ridiculous. I think he'd be totally fine if that happens. So I don't know. I think that argument is just, It's a little silly, and I mean, if he lost his hand, I think it would be so crazy for the story, and honestly, I'm totally okay with that. It happened in the comic, and it would just be such a cool Easter egg for that, you know, so I'm so on board for that if that does happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but yeah, I was honestly surprised by the amount of people that were like, no, he cannot. Like, so many people were like, he absolutely cannot. You are so wrong. Q&A, do you think that they'll show Dog again in the Daryl Dixon show, or would they just say that he's doing fine with Judith and the others, or say that he died? I don't know if we'll ever see Dog again. I feel like Dog was kind of a, you know, last couple of seasons type of thing for The Walking Dead. I mean, I guess I can see it, you know, in the finale or the very last episode of the Daryl Dixon show. He goes home and then Dog is there, right? So yeah, I could see that, I guess. But in order to bring Dog to France, like, it's already ridiculous enough to bring, you know, Daryl to France. Carol going there now, you know, they're gonna have to explain that, which some people won't be able to believe, or they'll have a hard time believing it. But I think it'll make sense. And again, he's already gonna have his crossbow over there, which I think makes sense because Carol found it. But then to bring Dog over and everything as well, like, it's a whole thing. So I think we probably won't see Dog until like the very last episode of the show, when Daryl comes back to America. Q&A, there is now rumors around that The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 3 are in the works, but thing is, they only had a 2-year contract to film in France, so season 1 and 2. Do you think season 3 will be back in the States or some other country in Europe? I'm gonna say no. I think it'll probably be in France, or maybe they'll go somewhere else in Europe. I don't think they're gonna want to come back to America immediately, because that means doing the same exact thing they've done for a while. I think the whole 2-year contract thing was most likely because they wanted to see how successful the show was going to be. So they just did a 2-year contract. They're like, you know what, we're going to do 2 seasons here. We're going to film here for whatever, and then we'll release that. We'll see what it does in terms of ratings. And, you know, obviously it's been really, really amazing. So they're like, you know, I guess if that is true, and there are rumors that season 3 is being worked on right now, then, you know, to renew a contract like that in terms of filming and stuff, I mean, yeah, like they'll renew that, I guess, for another couple of years or something. It's going to be insane, though. I mean, like, these seasons are going to fly right by. Like, say Daryl Dixon gets to season 5. I know that seems so far away, but it's going to fly by. And we're going to be talking about, well, maybe we'll get a season 6 or 7 or 8 kind of thing. Like, we're going to want that at that point, you know? But, you know, 4 to 5 seasons. I'm hoping for 5 seasons for Daryl Dixon and Dead City. It's going to fly right by because we're all already sort of waiting for season 2. Once season 2 is released next year, we're going to be waiting for season 3, and we're going to be hearing about all this talk for season 3. And then once season 3 is airing, you know, the year after that in 2025, we'll be talking about season 4. And then at that point, in 2 years from now, we're going to be talking about the fact that, oh, is this show going to be over soon? Is that the final season, or are they going to be doing another one? Right? So it's going to fly by. Like, it seems like this show has just started, but in 2 years from now, we're going to be talking about, is this the end now? Are they only doing like 4 seasons, or are we going to get a 5th one? So I just say enjoy it right now. You know, we have another year or 2 before we start talking about things like that. Unless we hear otherwise. I mean, honestly, they could keep those shows going on for a while. I feel like the difference with these shows is if they keep it 6 episodes, they'll probably continue to do this for a while. If it's like, you know, if they do 10 episodes or 12, you know, then I can see them getting tired out. But if it's only 6, if they're doing like 10 episodes or 12 or something, I could see them getting tired out by all of this. So 6 episodes, you know, I can see Daryl being like, yeah, let's do 10 seasons, because that's a total of only 60 episodes. It's 10 years of your life, you know, filming the story, but it's only 6 episodes. And usually an episode takes, what, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks or something like that? Yeah, but we'll have to wait and see on that, obviously. But I'm going to leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.